Welcome to this explainer. Let's just dive right into something that, well, you probably do every single day. We literally all do it. You look at a coworker across the room, maybe a family member sitting at the dinner table, or even just some complete stranger on the internet, and boom, you instantly dissect their flaws. You criticize their arrogance. You roll your eyes at their desperate need for attention. Or you feel this sudden, intense flash of disgust at just how fake they are. And in that moment, your judgment feels entirely righteous. It feels like you're simply observing the objective, undeniable truth about their broken character. But what if everything you think you're seeing is a complete illusion? Okay, we're going to really unpack this today because what we're about to discover might fundamentally change how you interact with the entire world.
So, I want you to pause for a second, and I need you to be brutally honest with yourself here. Who irritates you the most right now? Think about that one specific person in your life whose mere presence, or, maybe even just the tone of their voice, makes your jaw clench. Do you have them in your head? Good. Now, what specific trait of theirs makes you so incredibly angry? Name it. Lock it in right now, because exploring that specific trait is about to completely shift how you see yourself.
The legendary psychologist Carl Jung actually discovered a pretty terrifying reality about human perception. He said, "Thinking is difficult. That is why most people judge." Jung realized that judgment based on surface appearances is almost always fundamentally wrong. See, when you tear someone else apart, you genuinely believe you're exposing them, right? But in reality, your harshest judgments are almost never about the person you're criticizing. They actually reveal significantly more about the observer. And yeah, that's you, than the observed. Tearing someone else apart actually exposes the deepest, most hidden parts of your own psychological architecture.
Section 1. Meet your shadow. To understand why we judge others with such burning intensity, we have to meet a part of ourselves that we've likely been running from for a very long time.
Jung called this hidden part of ourselves the shadow. Basically, throughout your life, you've rejected, suppressed, or totally exiled certain qualities from your own identity. Why? Well, because somewhere along the line, you concluded that having these traits would make you unacceptable, or dangerous, or just fundamentally flawed. Maybe you were taught that being loud was bad, so you buried your assertiveness. Or maybe you were told that being proud was arrogant, so you pushed down your confidence. This entire exiled collection of traits, that becomes your shadow. It is essentially the invisible baggage you carry everywhere you go.
But here is the catch. Those traits, they don't just disappear because you refuse to acknowledge them. They absolutely demand to be seen. And since you won't look at them inside yourself, your unconscious mind literally forces them outward. This brings us to a concept called projection. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. When someone criticizes another person with unusual, totally disproportionate intensity, they aren't just making a rational observation. They are projecting their own disowned, buried traits directly onto that other person. That intense criticism you feel, it's really just an externalization of your own perceived flaws.
Let's put this into perspective. Picture a highly successful professional who prides himself on his absolute integrity. But at every team meeting, he harshly criticizes this one specific colleague. His jaw tightens visibly whenever that colleague gets praised for being charming. Now, outwardly, his complaint is that the colleague is fake and manipulative. But Jung would see something entirely different going on here. The hatred isn't actually about the colleague's manipulation. Inwardly, deep down in his psychological architecture, this professional secretly longs for greater social skill and fluency. He wishes he could easily charm a room, but he's buried that desire beneath a thick, heavy layer of contempt. He basically solved the problem of his own suppressed desire by hating it in someone else.
Section 2. The projection machine. The real cost of this habit is that your disproportionate anger towards someone else is actually a form of self-oppression.
It's a fierce rejection of the parts of yourself that you are utterly terrified to own. And honestly, nowhere is this more aggressively obvious than in the modern world's favorite pastime. Think about the absolute irony of the internet for a second. Millions of people spend billions of hours every single year locked in furious typing in all caps arguments in the comment sections of complete strangers. They genuinely, truly believe they are these noble warriors defending truth and morality against the corrupted masses. But clinically speaking, that is not what's happening at all. We have basically built a massive, interactive shadow projection machine.
It is all projection. Every bit of it. We are all just fiercely attacking our own repressed insecurities, just conveniently packaged in someone else's username. The person screaming about someone else being lazy online, they're often terrified of their own burnout or lack of ambition. The person relentlessly attacking someone's physical appearance is just weaponizing their own deep-seated bodily insecurities. The internet isn't a battleground for morality. It's practically a global theater for the shadow.
Section 3. The mirror effect.
So, what does this all mean for us? How do we actually break the cycle and stop using psychology and judgment as a defense mechanism against looking at ourselves? Well, it requires slowing down.
Let's walk through a process called shadow mapping. This is exactly how you discover your authentic nature, and the crazy part is, the map is right there in your everyday judgments. Step 1. Carefully observe who you judge the most harshly. Remember that person we thought about at the beginning of this explainer? Bring him back to mind. Step 2. Note the specific emotional intensity. Is it just a mild annoyance, or does it literally make your blood boil? Because if there's disproportionate rage, bingo, you found a shadow trait. And step 3, actually scratch that. This is definitely the most terrifying part. You must pause and ask yourself, where does this live inside of me? If you hate their arrogance, where are you secretly craving validation? If you hate their neediness, where are you refusing to ask for help yourself?
This brings us to the profound truth of the mirror effect. Everyone you observe is simultaneously reflecting aspects of your own psychological landscape right back towards you. It's like a giant puzzle. Every single judgment you observe yourself making about others contains vital, necessary information about your own shadow. When you finally accept that you contain the exact same flaws you so viciously hunt down in other people, your perception stops being a weapon. Condemnation doesn't liberate you, it oppresses you. But compassionate self-awareness, that is what actually sets you free.
Now, Jungian tradition often uses symbols to mark psychological thresholds, and the number 111 represents a very specific, powerful milestone. It represents the first authentic moment of self-awareness. It's that exact instant when a person begins to recognize that what they see in others is actually a reflection of what lives within them. So if during this explainer you caught yourself thinking about a judgment you've made and you suddenly realized it was exposing your own hidden nature, I invite you to drop the number 111 in the comments. Claim your reflection. Acknowledge that threshold for yourself today.
Ultimately, it all comes back to Jung's greatest challenge. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. The next time you feel that intense, burning urge to tear someone else apart, whether it's in a boardroom, your living room, or some random comment section, just stop. Recognize what's actually happening. They're simply holding up a mirror to the darkest, most hidden parts of your own soul. So my final question to you is this. Are you going to keep attacking the mirror? Or will you finally have the fierce, uncompromising courage to look into it and meet the parts of yourself you've been running from your entire life?